Well, it starts kind of with the structure of the other team. They're really heavily collapsed in their own end, and they battled very hard. So most of the action we got was from up top. It really, we've got some guys back there that can shoot the puck and can move. I think more, when you're talking about defense all the time, uh, it's nice when it's just good for your defensemen to score goals. They feel good about themselves, maybe take some pressure off them to do that, and then their game usually gets better.
How have you liked your special teams thus far?
Really happy with it.
Yeah.
Don't love winning games early in the year on your power play. It can kind of fool you into thinking you're playing better than you are. So our analytics 5-on-5 still have quite a bit of room to improve. But our penalty kill has been very strong. It's, I think, only 2 under the bar right now. So there was a stretch there that we had scored as many shorties as we'd given up. I'm really good with that. Goaltending's been strong. I think our team's game's actually pretty good. I don't think the analytics, they're accurate. They just aren't necessarily indicative of the effort. I feel that way about our goaltenders' numbers, goals against, and save percentage. They've been good. So we're still, every team's a work in progress. I don't think we're far off our identity. I think we're still managing a lot of our scheduling challenges that we have. And probably that may be the biggest challenge that we have all year going into April, where we play 3 sets of back-to-backs in 9 games in 15 days. So we're going to have that to monitor, and that can be a good thing if you can learn to handle it.
This schedule feels like the COVID year, 2020, when you have New Jersey back-to-back both here. You got a couple of those, it looks like.
Yeah, I like that. I cut down on the travel on the team. I don't mind going in and playing 2 games in the same place. That would be good. I thought it made for, we had that up, even more than than you hit down here. We were in the Canadian division, so we didn't have a team in our time zone. So we would go in and spend a week in a place and play 3 games. It made for longer road trips. I think the coaches like it. It's actually less work and it's more interesting. I like the back-to-back because on that second game, both teams have the same video. And they make the adjustments they need to make, and you adjust off the last game. So it makes it a little more of a playoff feel to it.
How are you looking to handle the goalie situation this week? Or is it just 3 games?
Robbie Tallis he'll sit down and do the schedule for the whole year, what he thinks, and then obviously we'll take a shorter term view, but Spencer will play. More to keep Bob's rhythm right, to give him opportunities to have blocks or rest, but Spencer's earned the right to get back in the net as well.
He also needs to keep a rhythm, right?
Correct. Correct. And both guys would love to play 65, so we manage that as well.
Coach Nate Kulikov been pretty solid defensively and
Yeah.
offensively. What can you say about the pairing played?
Well, going back to last year with the 2 injuries that we had come into the season, those 2 guys played together and they were very, very strong. So that was kind of an easy fit for us, and they've been very good. So that went right back to normal. Belinskas and Schmidt, both almost new in some ways to the team. Uvis played right defense last year when he was here, and because of our injuries, he's back on the left side. Nate's come in, scored. That part I wasn't particularly worried about. He's got some offense to his game. I thought that would be there. I think that he is far more educated in our game now than he was in training camp, and that would be true of even Uvis. So we like where they're at. I think kind of feel the same way we feel about our team. They've worked hard. They've battled hard. We're not perfect defensively yet. We strive for that. That would be the area that we would spend the most time talking about, and they've adapted to that well.
Coach, you mentioned getting close to your identity. How similar is that to maybe the way you guys played last year, or is it a little bit different knowing you do have some different personalities?
There is a difference. I think the identity doesn't change. How it looks will a little bit. I think that I think we have a more offensive-minded group. That's not the right set of words. Anton Lundell has developed into an offensive player. He can do both now. So we would have spent 2 years with him and really making sure that he understood the defensive part of the game and the compete level. Because when you're young and you come in, you want to put up points, you need to put up points because that really affects your next contract. All the young players come in, and most of these young players that come in, they actually didn't come into the NHL as defensive players. Those guys come into the NHL quite a bit later. The offensive guys, they're in the NHL because they got great hands, and I think Anton scored a whole bunch of goals his first year. Then you've got to get for us to win, we have to have a certain defensive structure. Anton, for me, has passed through that now. He's both. So we get into the second period last game, and Lundell's line went out against Couturier's line for the rest of the night. That's their best line. And then Lundell's line was our best line in that game. So we have 12 guys, 13 guys up front that can play and can generate. I think we can generate more offense this year. And we're still working on the defensive part of that game. It's not that the forwards can't. So we look differently on our blue line than we did when everybody was healthy last year. So we're managing that.
We don't talk a whole lot about Evan Rodrigues, but except when on times like these when he's scoring a ton.
Yeah.
As a coach, what kind of liberty do you have, like, to free up yourself knowing that he can play anywhere in your lineup? Does that give you?
You have, and you're going to see this at some point going forward. I've got 3 guys that I think I need to move around a little bit over time. Carter Verhaeghe's one of them. Rodrigues is one of them, and Boquist has become one of them. So his play says that he can play left and right wing, and he can play with Barkov, Bennett, or Lundell. And that's what's going to happen, I think, in the near future. That'll be the changes that you'll see us make. I flipped centerman in game 2 in Dallas. I didn't flip anybody in the Nashville game. I liked our game. But then we flipped line matchup in the Philadelphia game. The individual rotations will be those 3 men. Having a guy, when Evan Rodrigues went and played with Lundell and Luosterainen last year, I think that's where he got his game in order. I think and then he came out of that playing that game, and eventually was with Sam Bennett and Matthew Tkachuk, and they're a very, very good line in the possibly our most effective line in the Edmonton series.
When you say is that for the individual that you're switching, like a Verhaeghe, or is it for like for the whole?
It would be for sure both. I would have most likely switched Rodrigues and Verhaeghe last game if Roddy wasn't on the heater that he was on. And we've been a pretty good team over our last 7 games, so there's not the impetus to change, but it is on my radar now.
Thank you. Thanks,
All right,
Coach.
everybody,
Thank you
have a
very
great day. It's beautiful.
much.